Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Vesna here. Today I'm doing 3 trash to treasure thrift flip items. I am making a pallet wood sled, repurposing or redoing some Christmas bells, and repurposing a milk tin. So the first project, I'm creating a sled out of this pallet. And I will be having my husband help me take it apart. So we're carefully, as careful as you can be because everything is nailed. We've taken it apart. So what we did is we cut it in half and we saved some of like lengthwise, and we saved some of the boards in the back and just left them there. And then these other ones we took out, and then I'm just placing them one on top of the other. And I also saved a piece of the long wood there. I've just placed it for just for me to see how I'm going to put this together. And then I'm just drilling screws into the sled so that way it stays nicely together and I'm not having to nail it. And in case I want to take it apart down the road, it's a little bit easier to remove screws than it is nails, and I'm having a hard time with the drill. I had actually taken a dull screw, which my husband came over because he was seeing that I was having a hard time, and he tried to do it and he couldn't do it. So he said, "Oh no, you took a dull screw." So anyway, live and learn. So, and then he put it back, so I kept on taking it. But anyway, once we got the screw situation figured out, it started working fine. I don't know how I'm very good at finding things that, like other people would try to look for it and they wouldn't be able to find it, but that's the first screw that I took. It was kind of funny. So anyway, I screwed down the boards, and then I didn't even have to cut anything to size or anything like that. The only thing that was cut was the pallet was cut in half so that I could keep those back boards so that I could easily screw on these ones, and then just the little piece of wood that you'll see kind of where you attach the rope to the sled, that piece was also cut to size. But other than that, very minimal cutting, which was great. I used pretty much all of the half of the pallet board, and I'm using the other half. I'll be doing like a little wheelbarrow, and that'll be kind of my summer fall decoration. Sorry, I almost misled you. There was a little bit more of a cut because I decided I wanted the sled to have like a round curve. So my husband wound up cutting just the top boards of the pallet. Once they've been screwed in, he just cut them just so they would be kind of like in a circle, like a curved shape. You absolutely do not have to do this. I chose to do this because this is the look I wanted on my sled, but I've seen these made where they were just square at the top and they look just as good, but this is the look that I wanted. So then what I'm doing here is I'm going to screw in this belt. This belt is an old belt that had ripped, so I thought it would be perfect for the sled, especially since I'll be keeping it outside. So I didn't want to hot glue this because the hot glue won't withhold the freezing cold temperatures. So you just screw it in, and you're going to try to find a spot to screw it in so that way you actually have a firm hold. My husband likes to kind of hover around when I'm using any kind of power tools because I am very accident prone, so he always likes to make sure I'm okay. It's very cute. Once you have your rope or belt or whatever you decide to add on there screwed in or tied on, then what you want to do is you paint it if you want to paint it. You don't have to. I mean, even looking at the video now, I really didn't have to paint it, but I decided I wanted, because some of the boards had a little bit of blue, some of them had a little bit of white. I decided I did want to paint them a little bit, so I'm just using my espresso from Art Minds. It's from Michael's. It's like a little can that I got at 50% off, and I'm just lightly going over the really light parts and the blue parts, and then what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of dark and light wax, and that's about it. I'm kind of just dry brushing. I like the imperfection of the wood, but I didn't want so much white and blue showing through, so that's all I'm doing. So once you get the look that you're going for, like I said, if you don't want to paint it, you don't have to, but I just want to painting it and waxing it a little bit, and then I'm going to make it Christmassy. Now, what I love about this sled is that I don't have to have it Christmassy. I could have it out all winter and just leave it as is and not have the Christmas type of decorations, maybe just have some greens in there. So I'm really excited about this sled. I will have to go and do a Home Depot run because I need something to seal this wood so it's protected from the elements. So I'm limiting how much I'm going to the stores. So I'm gonna need some dark wax, some antique wax, and some sealers. So I'm gonna run to Home Depot probably this weekend and get all these things. I'm trying the Rust-Oleum antique wax this time around, so I'll let you guys know in my future videos what I think of that. But you do want to seal this because it is going to be sitting outside. So I mean, if you want to keep it for a few years, why not seal it and have it be protected? So the wax I'm just adding to mute the brown and to kind of just to give it a lot of depth. I always like to kind of mix colors and waxes to make things even more rustic looking than they are. You did see me at the beginning of this clip just paint that belt, and that belt I painted with a little bit of red paint, but with the brown still being on my brush, so I used the same brush. And that just so it wasn't, because I didn't really like the color of the belt. For the final touches of the sled, I'm just attaching these picks that I had left over from actually last year. I had bought them for some outdoor arrangements and I never wound up using them, so I'm going to use them on this sled. They're from the Dollar Tree, so I think I used about 3 or 4 picks here, so under $4 or $4 at the max. And I'm using zip ties to attach them because zip ties are plastic and they'll withhold the elements. Like I said, I didn't want to use hot glue because it won't withhold. And I had a little piece of burlap left over, so I just tied a bow to it, and that's it. No spectacular bow, I just did it like you would a shoelace. And here's a completed sled on my porch. I absolutely love the way this turned out. It is so rustic looking and so cute. So before I move on to my second project, I just wanted to mention, if you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see new videos. I've got lots of new videos out. I did a top 12 Christmas DIYs here, which people seem to be really enjoying. I've got a few videos that were really popular. I've got a Kirkland's dupe, a Dollar Tree one, and then I've got another one here that I did for my Friday Friend Hop. So if you haven't checked them out, make sure you check those videos out. I'm sure you'll find something that you like, and it's not too late to be inspired for the Christmas season. I also have other playlists that you guys can check out that I've created for you, and you can let me know in the comments below what kind of playlist you would like to see, and I can create it for you. So it's all about what you guys want to watch too. I mean, it's what I want to make too, because if I enjoy it, I'll do a really good job, but I also want to make stuff that you guys enjoy watching. So leave me a comment below, subscribe if you haven't, hit that notification bell, and thank you so much for stopping by. Now let's continue to my second thrift flip or trash to treasure item. So these are the bells that I had picked up at the thrift store. They were about 50 cents for all 4 of them, or sorry, for 2 of them. So about $1 for all 4. I have seen them at Dollarama, so if you're from Canada, that's our dollar store, but it's $1 and more, so I think they were about $3 for a set. Or for one, I can't remember, but they were quite expensive because they're larger. So, but I saw them and I thought, great, if I color them, paint them, they will look awesome. So what I want to achieve with these is kind of like a galvanized look, but a little bit darker. So what I'm doing is first I'm going to paint them with my Rust-Oleum Country Gray. And I'm just going to paint over them so they're not so shiny because they're really glittery. And I obviously can't, maybe I could have sanded off the glitter, but that was a lot of work that I didn't want to do. So I'm just going to paint them here with the Country Gray and let them dry. So here's what they look like, all painted and dried. I only did one coat of them. I just made sure that I covered them really nicely, and the silver ones were easier to do. I didn't even have to do such a heavy coat on them because um, they were already silver, so the gray covered it quite nicely. The red I had to do, I just take my time a little bit more because with the little holes in between, the red was coming through, but I still only just did one coat for both. So then after I did that, I brought them outside to where I'm going to be hanging them, and I'm going over top of them with some silver. So this is a silver metallic and blue and black acrylic paint. And all of those paints I'm going to be putting in a little bowl and using my dabber to just paint over top of or dab over top of the bells to create like a little galvanized effect. So initially I don't mix the colors together, but what I do is I put them all in the same bowl and they eventually wind up mixing together. And I just dab so I get that look that I'm going for. So sometimes I have to go back and put a little bit more blue, and then I notice there's too blue, and then I put a little bit more black. It's just whatever you want it to look like. So that's what I did here. I just kind of went over top. I always start with the blue and the lighter colors first, and then I just do the top coat so that way it the darker coat so that way it kind of blends in the blue colors, and you just want to blend it all together is what is kind of essentially what you're going for. So after I do that, I do it several times over each bell. Some bells I have to do less, some more, just depending on how I mix the colors. And I'm not too concerned about them being identical because if you're looking at aged galvanized buckets or bells, they're never quite identical because they age a little bit different. So I obviously do this for all four bells, and like I said, I'll put them side by side. If one is like really, really light and the other one is really dark, then I'll fix them depending on whether I like the darker or the lighter better. But you don't need to worry, like I said, too much about them being identical, just that they're similar enough so that way they look like the same bell, but just age differently. So what look I got here was kind of like a galvanized black stainless steel type of look mixture together. So still a little bit shiny, but more like on the darker side, which is beautiful. And so just with this last clip, I wanted to show you what I mean by one looking a little bit darker and one a little bit lighter to then do what you wanted to do to achieve the look so that they're more similar. So here's a lighter version of it and a darker version of it. So it really depends on what your preference is. I decided I wanted to go darker. So there they are. They're still very similar, just one's a little bit darker. But here they are all hung up. I tied them with a zip tie to my swag. I have them on either side of my garage. So here's the other side, and I just took this picture during the day, so you get a look of both styles. So before I move on to my last DIY, I wanted to share with you guys that this video is a part of a challenge hosted by Domestic Diva DIY and the Chauvin's Nest. So Sonia, Domestic Diva, is a super talented lady. She's got 3 channels, her cooking, her DIY, and her home channel. Make sure you check out all 3. She does some amazing trash to treasures, dollar stores, look for lesses, all sorts of things. So check her out. Then she's hosting with her friend Sandra at the Chauvin's Nest. Sandra is another fantastic and talented lady. She's been doing farmhouse type of DIY, so everything she does is the farmhouse style. She does a lot of woodworking stuff, so make sure you check her out as well. I've known both of these ladies for a very long time. They're very talented, their homes are beautiful, and they come up with some fantastic stuff, and they are beautiful, beautiful souls. So make sure you check out their channels and give them a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and watch their videos. Also, there'll be a playlist, so make sure you check out the playlist because I guarantee you won't be disappointed with this playlist. It'll give you some wonderful ideas. So, on to my third DIY. So for my third project, I'm making over this milk can. Although it was really cute, I did think that it needed a little bit of TLC. It was $5 from my local thrift store. This one I just got recently. And I'm going to be removing this fall stuff. So I'm pretty sure somebody had it for their fall decor and then got rid of it right away. This gave me a little bit of trouble, so I'm not going to show the whole process. So what I did was I just pulled out these flowers with my wire cutters. Well, I was going to cut them out, and then I realized that if I get a good grip on them, I could just pull them out. And then it's the styrofoam inside that gave me a really hard time. Either this was DIY'd. I don't think that this was purchased this way. I'm not sure, but it was really, really glued well in there, the styrofoam. So I picked it out. I used an X-Acto knife. I broke an X-Acto knife. I cut it out until I could get it so I could pull it out. I had to cut around the edges to get that glue part off, and then it was really big inside, so I couldn't pull it out, so I had to cut it in pieces. So maybe it was factory made. I'm not sure, but gave me a bit of a hard time, so I didn't record the whole process. I made a big mess, so you guys didn't need to watch that. But if you do have something like that, you just need to cut around it and just pick at it until you get it out. That was my strategy. If you guys have better strategies, you can by all means let me know in the comments below. Although I didn't mind this green look of this can, I did want to update it a little bit, but make it look more aged. It had some dings in it, which is great, but the dings were just showing some sort of shiny stuff through, so it wasn't like they were it kind of made it look cheap. So this is not an original milk can. It must have been something that was bought at like a Marshall's or something. So anyway, I am making it look galvanized, but again, I'm going a little bit darker than I did. If you've seen my other galvanized projects that I've done, I can link one video up here, in here. I've done them kind of more silvery, whereas this one I did more of a dark color. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So again, I'm mixing some white paint, some black paint. With this one, I am also adding some cashmere paint. So it's like a light brown paint, because I didn't want to cover the stuff underneath completely. I did want it coming through because I did like that coppery greenish effect. So you'll see what I mean. I also wind up adding, I have some gilding copper that I got at Michael's. This little bottle has, if you've watched my videos that I've been posting since March, I've used it quite a bit in my videos and I still have lots left. So you'll see what I mean. And it's just like the bells where I'm mixing the silver, so I'm adding cashmere. So silver, black, cashmere, blue, and I'm adding white as well to this one. So same idea, I'm just dabbing it on and mixing them as I go. So you can see here I've applied the gilding copper, and what I did was I just put a little bit on a toothpick and I just put it in different spots, and then I'm just using a brush to blend everything in. And you can see from the side of the vase I have some of the blue showing through. I have it's black, silver, green, all sorts of colors are in there. And then I'm toning it down a little bit. If I'm thinking that the gilding copper was too much, I tone it down, then I add a little bit more. And again, it's whatever you kind of want it to look like. Once I got the look I wanted, I decided, and this took me a while, but I decided I wanted to make this a Christmas vase. So I have these window decals from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just adding farm fresh Christmas trees and the little red pickup truck, or the little red car. And I figured if I do want to make this into not a Christmas vase, I could just turn it around and put it against a wall, or I can always take that off and then repaint it. But I think I'm going to leave it, and then if I want to use it in the fall or something, I'll just turn it around or wrap it in burlap or something. So I'm using Mod Podge to attach these. I just first want to position them to to where kind of I want them on the vase. I'm putting them kind of in the middle between the two handles, and I put Mod Podge underneath and over top. So you'll see how I style the vase. I'm just using artificial picks, but you can put fresh things in here if you wanted to. I would not put it straight into the milk can because it's metal and it'll probably leak. If you wanted to do that, you could put some, like a bag inside and then do it like that. Or you could just put like a glass vase in there with your fresh greens and then put the whole vase in. And that'll prevent rusting and all of that stuff. So here it is finished. I am so happy with the way it turned out. I hope you really like it too. I can't tell you how happy I am with this vase. The paint is exactly what I wanted it to be. It gave me that little bit aged but freshened up. I love it. These picks I got from Michael's. If you watched, I did a video a little while back saying that I couldn't remember where I put these. I finally found them when I was looking for something else, as usual, and they were in the completely the wrong bin, and I swear I looked in that bin. But anyway, here they are. They're from Michael's. I got them at like a 90% off thing last year after the holidays. So you can see the little copper coming through, the farm fresh Christmas trees, and by putting the Mod Podge over top, I kind of toned down the shininess too. So I love it. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. I actually can't pick. I really love all of them. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the playlist. Check out the hosts and check out all of the other DIYs in my 12 Days of Christmas as well. Check out any videos I've recommended for you. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day and stay safe.